cat burglar Nami, One Piece's greatest weatherwoman, and someone who might just be the single most slept on character in all of One Piece. So today we're gonna fix that by figuring out if Nami can solo pre-time skip. But first we have to break down Nami's base stats. You know what we're comparing the villains to. And it's high time that we start with the most iconic bit of Nami's character, her physique. Let's not beat around the bush here, buddy. Starting with her durability and endurance. Just how much punishment can the Straw Hats Navigator take until she falls? Well, starting with the missed double finger scrap, she was in there boxing in the pocket with a porcupine, taking some pretty serious shots, taking a sewing stinger to the calf. I mean, that alone scales her above Achilles and his little tendon buddy. Not gonna lie, the cat burglar then went on to do a crafty shoulder roll to block a stinger flail. Nice little Mayweather money move. Then at the end, she was still able to tank a sea urchin stinger to her bum leg. I mean, you gotta admit, even pre-time skip characters like Sanji didn't really have to face that level of adversity. Her next 1v1 wasn't really till Eni's lobby, where she scrapped with an agent of the government. But due to Khalifa's gimmick and Oda getting a little too excited for this fight, there really isn't much to find here. Then we take the next big leap because we really don't get any honest to goodness durability feats until Wano, where we get one of the most underappreciated performances in all of the raid on Onigashima, Nami vs Ulti, where we get a Blackbeard level feat, a little bit of off-screen action, a little bit of off-screenage. After Ulti hits Usopp with a little bit of that Lethway action. Mind you, an attack that Luffy said he would need to go gear 4 against. She would go for Nami. In this essential interaction, Nami says, "Please, no more headbutts. If you hit me one more time, I'm gonna die." Now, time to overanalyze this like the true geniuses we are, ladies, gentlemen, and others. She specifically said, "No more. If you only got hit by one." I think she would have said not another. That's simple linguistics, But the second sentence tells a bit of a bigger story. If you hit me one more time. Wouldn't she have just said not again if she only got hit once? Here's the thing about that sentence, guys. You and I both agree that there's a heavy implication that Nami took more than one Ulti armament headbutts. And let's be real, let's be frank here. Can you name me any attack pre-time skip that are gonna push Luffy to gear 4? Gekko Moria, nah. Is Lucci? No. Is Arlong? No. Don't make me laugh, buddy. Arlong is not doing anything. I don't think there's any pre-time skip attack from a villain that Luffy boxed up that's just gonna one-tap Nami, barring some insane gimmick. And then her speed, which is a little tricky. Her along with Zeus were able to dodge and deflect an attack from St. J. A little crafty action going on there, which is difficult to scale because the Gorosei are just so inconsistent. We know that Jay had the speed to intercept Sanji via eye diffage, who albeit wasn't going full speed, he wasn't paying attention much, but still. I don't really see a reason for Mr. Farsi to be holding back here against Robin. I mean, that's like the one person that can take down his plan. So while I'm not saying anything crazy like she's keeping up with King, I wouldn't put her past her to dodge the same lasers that Zoro was pre-time skip, if you know what I'm saying. Then before we get to the most entertaining stat, let's take a look at Nami's intelligence. Out of all the Straw Hats, she has some of the best battle IQ in the biz. Being able to outplay secret agents of the government, new world threats and Brule, and just being able to set up threats to take hits like Ulti, all very impressive. Nami is a high IQ vet, all very impressive. But now is the time for the real stats. Nami's attack power. Let me tell you, she is low-key an absolute boss. Her first time she got a hold of the Hungry Cloud and hit the Big Mom Pirates, she was able to absolutely nuke Yonko level fodder with a Zeus Breeze tempo. And people forget, man, just because they are fodder doesn't mean that these guys wouldn't be able to run the Blue Seas or something like that. Arlong got an island, these guys will be running countries. In Wano, she used her Ninpo Lightning Blast to have a little bit of fried Hydra with Orochi, and just looking at this panel, the range of this attack is genuinely insane, dude. She is sniping people from like a street down. That is an incredible range and attack output. Then up on the rooftop, we see Big Mom absolutely beam both Zoro and Killer. And let's be honest, are there any pre-time skip characters that are doing Zoro like that? No way, buddy. And yes, I can already see the anti-Nami cope, but bro, this is Charlotte Linlin feat. What does that have to do with Nami, bro? Well, listen here, buddy. Here's the thing about Indra. All Big Mom attacks are Zeus attacks, and Zeus glaze is Nami upscale. That's all I gotta say. It's simple math if you think about it. I don't see a single reason why Nami wouldn't be able to perform the same attack. Also, side note, I've never seen one of those upscale memes for Nami. Can one of y'all angels out there make one, please? Pretty please. Then we get one of the single best AP feats we've seen. Nami makes some deep fried dino nuggies out of Ulti with a lightning blast from Zeus. Now just a reminder, Ulti and Page 1 are likely relics. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't be. And what attack was it that took out Page 1 again? Let me think a little bit, scratch on the chin. Oh yeah, an ACOG left straight to the jugular from a Yonko, buddy. There really is no way to downplay that unless you're a blind, deaf, and quadriplegic man. That's all I'm gonna say. Though my glaze for Nami isn't just gonna stop here, folks. When the government was doing a little bit of that special oppage in Egghead, after Oda got his mandatory upskirt and sexualization of Nami out of the way, she whipped out the same attack on S-Shark and lit him up like the 4th of July. And it actually did some major honest to goodness damage, but he was looking a little rough and tough in the face after. Tell me, is pre-Timeskip Luffy doing that to S-Shark? Buddy, is current Smoker doing that to S-Shark? No. Quite frankly, is Doflamingo doing that to S-Shark? Like, no lie, I don't think he would. I don't think he would. Then we jump to Nami's little adventure in Legoland. And by the way, this is extremely unrelated. Do we have confirmation of who was speaking to Nami yet? Because it wasn't Road, right? Like, he was in another room doing, I don't know if I don't want to think about what he was doing, but he was doing something. Anyway, we see the third and final lightning blast by Nami onto Road, which, by the way, that is like the only time in the series I've seen someone whip out the same named attack 3 times. Nami, we gotta think up some new names. I know you had trouble naming Zeus, but we gotta think up some new stuff, buddy. This is getting stale. This is getting stale. Anyway, Road is surely a paradise level threat, assuming he scales to Dressrosa Harjuden, which I don't see why he wouldn't. In fact, I think he would scale higher. This guy is an absolute scrapper. And one-shotting him like Nami did is an insane feat people are just overlooking because we're so late in the series. So now that we've broken down Nami as an absolute superhuman threat, it's time to figure out, can Nami solo pre-time skip? But before we get into that, let's get out of the tin can and start begging. We're greed maxing here. If you're watching this, make sure you're subscribed. Only like 10 of y'all are subscribed, and I want to hit 10K by February. That would be backyard crazy, buddy. So make sure you like and hype the video up. Pretty please, pretty please. Starting up the gauntlet, we have the East Blue, and I think that we can all agree this is pretty straightforward simple. Nami is giving Alvida a little bit of a voltage, she's giving Buggy a snasty kick to the groin, and in the clown family once and for all. No reproduction for you, buddy. Don't even get me started on Kuro. People were trying to tell me that Kuro would beat post-time skip Usopp. Who do y'all think Kuro is? He was hoping on fluking a fortune over a 16-year-old Make-A-Wish kid. Nami is clubbing him to death with the climb attack, no Zeus needed. We're going straight, you know? Then we get to Mr. Krieg, the Dawn of the East Blue. And let me give y'all a quick little science lesson. Gold is actually a heck of a conductor for electricity, which means buddies get lit up like a Christmas tree on December 25th. But we all knew what was going to happen to pre-Grand Line fodder. What about Arlong himself? And let me tell you something. This little block that Nami did to a named Khalifa attack, Arlong isn't doing that. Arlong is getting sent to Kingdom. Come with that sidekick, buddy. He's getting shot through buildings, shot through parks, shot through mountains. Real talk here. Post-time skip Nami is boxing up Arlong. Nami is jabbing up high, jabbing to the body, and then landing a Carlos Prates left hand on that crooked nose of his. Breaking that. There's just levels to this game. Arlong might as well be swinging pillows at a chick who is able to take named attacks from Ulti. Nami is boxing the bloody head off him, hitting him with a 3-piece. Arlong is getting his nose broken, along with his fishman supremacist ideology. Lights out, ice cold. After, we get a quick little load count intermission, and here we start running into some problem. Nami really can't hit Mr. Smokey. But here's the thing, did Luffy win that fight? No, so does this really matter? Not really, so we're skipping him. Then we hit the big Alabasta saga where we get some paradise level threats. Now I'm just going to keep this brief because you and I both know Nami is having no problems versus random Baroque work thugs. Oh yeah, and Wapol, let me tell you, I have a deep, high-level understanding of Wapol. Don't think I forgot about the 3-hour Usopp and Wapol breakdown, but this dude has like a metal beard or something, and what did we say about metal and stuff? It's an excellent conductor, so unfortunately, I don't know if Buddy would have been able to become the Bill Gates level entrepreneur. He is if Nami was on Drum Island, that's all I gotta say. But then we get to the legendary Shichibukai, Mr. Crocodile, and I know a lot of you Alabasta fans out there aren't gonna like this, and I feel bad for dogging on them this early before you bring up the bro Mihawk, bro Doflamingo, bro Crocodile. But you have to remember, this is broken, willless Crocodile, not one that still wants to become the Pirate King. But let me explain myself with some real quick factual facts. By that I mean it's time to whip out our scientific goggles and look up the makeup of clouds themselves. If we look the freaking data, if we're dealing with the truth, science states that clouds are made of, would you look at that, they're made of water. So you see right here where Nami is swinging Zeus like a nunchuck at an absolute post-time skip boss and Ulti, that right there is legitimately one-shotting Crocodile, and I'm not even trolling there. Here's the thing about Paradise Logias, buddy. These guys are all fragile Frankies. They just aren't used to getting their chin tested. They've been sitting pretty, just hacking their way through. I mean, Water Luffy was boxing the bloody head off. And I mean, you can't tell me that Ulti is killing over from these punches, buddy. Plus, Logias, again, they're just lax. They aren't used to getting tested. Crocodile was a bit of a princess. He's a cocky fella. Nami is legitimately blitzing this dude. People really don't understand how fast post-time skip characters are and how much stronger the Straw Hats really are. So Nami is hitting this dude with a big Zeus club across that slick back hair of his and knocking his bum out. Then we have Bellamy the hyena, an absolute deep pink. Yeah, Nami's clubbing this dude and making him look like that time she showed off her Conqueror's hockey post Wano, buddy. That's all I gotta say. Though now we get the matchup of the century, the one that I know a lot of you have been waiting for. The man that ended Usopp's win streak via hacks, Enel. And I know a lot of y'all are already gonna be clicking off this video. Oh man, this sucks, man. Caught again at the hockey check. But here's where I come in, looking all suave, having a nice timbre in my voice, you know. Hey there. Chin up. It's high time I introduce you to chapter 473. A chapter that has nothing to do with either hockey, Enel, or Nami, but it's one of the most important chapters I've ever seen. The scrap between Ace and Akainu, where we get the single most important panel in this discussion on page 13. You see here, where Ace and Akainu go devil fruit for devil fruit with Ace coming out burned, which yes, means that Akainu wasn't using hockey, and the sheer heat of the magma was able to damage a Logia user. And when we look at Nami vs Enel, I don't see why Zeus wouldn't be able to do the exact same thing to him using a Zeus Breeze Tempo or a Lightning Blast that has significantly higher AP than Enel. I mean, could you imagine Nami hitting Pre-Diable Sanjay full force and him still being alive? No, just no, you can't. Like, that just wouldn't happen. Additionally, we do have proof that Enel's body, despite being electricity itself, can still be affected by being shocked when he basically revived himself with his in case of emergency defibrillator. So what I'm trying to say is that Nami is using her one move, Lightning Blast, and hitting Enel with so much thunder, so much oomph, that the conduction system of his heart starts working a little overtime, you know, the SA node firing off too quickly, and in the end, Enel loses big shockage. So we're now officially farther than Usopp, and now we reach arguably the best arc in One Piece, the most popular arc in One Piece, with one of Luffy's hardest fights. That's right, I'm talking about Long Ring Long Land with Foxy. It's high time we talk about the sweet science of boxing. We got Cat Burglar Nami in the blue corner and Foxy the Silver Fox in the red corner. So who out of these two has the better hands? Who out here is coming out when these two absolute forces collide in the pocket? Firstly, Nami isn't going to be goofing around like Luffy, so sorry, there's no Afro Nami here, but can Nami actually do some serious damage in a battle of the two limbs? To figure this out, we have to look at post Wano, when Nami was able to damage a Yonko with... So yeah, we are counting a gag feat here, but at the end of the day, this is a gag fight, so even if you do want to ignore the gag, is Foxy doing any damage to a girl who survived armament headbutts from Ulti? So even if this scrap does have to go 12 3-minute rounds, I see Foxy and his HGH gut gassing out in the fourth and leaving Nami just being able to pick him apart, the slow bum out of range for the remaining minutes. I mean, at this point in the series, she's just too fast to get hit by a slugging bum and Foxy. I see Nami getting her hand raised via 116 to 109 unanimous decision. Though there is a certain threat here that I think it's important not to ignore, with one of the admirals of the sea in Aokiji. But Luffy didn't get anywhere close to winning this fight, so this doesn't really matter. But Nami does have a little secret technique that I have purposely not mentioned up to this point. Happiness Punch. And you know, due to Aokiji's proclivities for well-endowed women, I think Nami would certainly be able to escape the clutches of the government here. Then we reach Water 7, though thankfully this is sort of just a setup arc, so we have an expeditious trip on the sea train to Eni's lobby, where we get Nami's toughest matchup to date, Nami vs Lucci, and this fight is just so tough to predict due to the differential in their stats. Lucci is really fast, and while Nami has reacted to Saturn, we still don't know if she can consistently react to the speed, or even take a Lucci attack due to the piercing properties. However, for Lucci, we know for certain that he isn't taking a full front Zeus attack, unless you think Lucci over Ulti. Ridiculous, ridiculous. So what is my actual prediction for this fight? I mean, we have two one-hit wonders with a win condition of being the first person to land a blow, and I think I lean Nami on this one, to be honest. My main reason is because of just how fast Zeus can move around. I'm just more confident that Nami could at least tank one due to the fact that Stussy was able to tank one from a significantly stronger Lucci. Even if Stussy is more durable than Nami, which I could see the argument for, Nami should still be able to take one and allow Zeus to quickly land an AoE attack, which would fry the leopard. People forget, man, Zeus is just that guy. So for that reason, I got Nami via first round KO over the head of CP9. And then we reach the end of the pre-timeskip gauntlet, the end of Luffy's pre-timeskip resume. Gekko Moria, the emasculated man himself. And honestly, this is just a better matchup for Nami. She's not going to have to worry about getting into range, and she has significantly better crowd control than Luffy, being able to wipe out Yonko's subordinates with a single named attack, even pile driving Big Mom underground. So yeah, despite Moria being stronger than Lucci, I think this matchup is just a bit more of a layup. A stationary, lazy man who doesn't have his heart in it, no longer has that dog in him. I just don't think he has the will or ability to grit down on the mouthpiece after getting hit by a lightning blast. Plus, we ran a good old poll on this, and it looked like the populace agreed. So in conclusion, I do indeed think that Nami can solo pre-time skip. Alright, thank you for watching the video. I got my favorite video I've ever made thus far coming next week, so make sure you stick around for that, for another video on another Friday. See ya.